So thank you again for being here this morning. I'll keep it brief. First of all, I just want to say thank you to our community. I think our community is continuing to do the things that they have been asked, just as Judge Johnson was talking about. Even driving around this past weekend, seeing what people are doing in the stores, seeing how every store has done everything they can to protect people as much as people will allow them to be guided and directed. I would reiterate what the judge has said, which is now is no time to loosen up. Even though everybody still might be thinking, when is this going to come to an end? We need to continue to push and continue to sacrifice. We need to continue to stay at home and to stay safe and just really continue to support each other. And so with that, about the only thing I can report to you from the city, the council is meeting again today. We are meeting every single week pretty much, discussing any changes we need to make. We don't see anything in the making today as far as restrictions or anything we need to do to change anything, other than continuing to encourage the community to do what they're doing, to practice their social distancing, to only have one person go to the store rather than a family of 10 going to the grocery store and different things like that. And then today and in the days ahead, I'll be on calls with members of Congress, members of the Senate, members of the House, discussing all the things we might be able to do with the Small Business Administration and others. I was on a call just this morning. And so really we're spending a lot of our time and a lot of our effort working with Washington, D.C. right now that there are stimulus packages and different things that are available. We need to make sure we're on the front lines. I'll be on a conversation this afternoon with the Department of Energy as far as what they need to do and how they can help us here in the basin. So really where we are as a city is continuing to support what we have to support for our health and well-being, and we're kind of turning a page here with the city and getting ourselves ready to help our citizens who are going through such a difficult time, and seeing how we can mobilize the resources to make sure they get here to West Texas, because oftentimes they don't get here to West Texas like they need to, and we could argue we're being hit harder than just about anybody else economically and physically, with the exception of places like New York City and San Francisco and other places. And finally, just as a note, I'm trying to encourage everybody this Monday, Thursday at noon just to stop. And maybe we as a community can stop at noon, whether it takes you 2 minutes or you take the whole hour, just to pause and pray for our community and pray for one another, pray for our healthcare providers, and just remember in this Holy Week the sacrifices we're making and the example of sacrifice we can follow. So with that, any questions? Stuart?
What does it mean to you to have Midland behind other similar sized, larger populated communities like Lubbock, the Amarillo region, even Abilene, Odessa, in terms of the number of corona victims? What does it mean to you that Midland's doing right?
Well, I think that's a great question, Stuart, in the sense that when I look at where we are as a city, I think it demonstrates a number of things. Number one, I think it demonstrates what we said about our people all along, that our people, you give them a challenge, they're ready to take it. And I think the citizens of Midland saw this a little bit of as an invisible thing, and maybe it wasn't something we should take seriously, but they began to listen to the information. And finally they said, okay, we'll fight. And I think when we put it in terms of a fight, our citizens respond to that. As far as our entities and our governmental entities, I don't know if there's a region or a city in the region that has come together and partnered as well and as fast as we have. And so Justin has been a huge part of that, helping us get this together. And everybody has really just rallied around each other. And what can we get you? How can we help you? What can we do? And so I think once again, Midland has displayed itself as a shining light in the middle of the basin. And we can be thankful also, I think, for our weather and the fact that, thank goodness, it's just going to get hotter, and maybe it can get up to about 120 and bake all this off for all of us here pretty soon. But really the simple answer to that, Stuart, is our community knows how to rally around something when it's real. We're a little slow to believe it at first, but when we do, we get after it.